Hello, I'm Robin, and welcome to Bookspin. Today we'll be looking at a new release and debut novel, that is, The Sleepless by Victor Manibo. I just finished this off a couple of days ago, and I really enjoyed it, so I felt compelled to share my thoughts so more people can discover this book. This is a sci-fi mystery thriller with a very interesting premise. It's set in a world where people have permanently lost the ability to sleep. So let's talk a little bit about what this book is about and why it's such a compelling read. So set against the background to the story, in the not too distant future, we are several years into a mysterious pandemic which has caused around a quarter of the world's population to develop hyperinsomnia. That is to say, they are totally unable to sleep. They no longer need to sleep, and apparently there are no other implications on their health. Jamie Vega is the protagonist in this story, a complex character with a somewhat troubled past. He is a journalist working in New York who became sleepless about a year ago and is caught up in a dystopian world dominated by corporate greed. Early on in the story, his boss dies in an apparent suicide just before a particularly controversial planned takeover of his media company. Vega suspects foul play and begins to investigate for himself. From here, the story develops at a fast pace and more layers of mystery unfold as we are introduced to an array of interesting characters as Vega delves deeper into a dark conspiracy and exposes himself to increasing danger in order to uncover the truth. While the plot is well paced and has plenty of exciting moments, the main draw for me when reading this was the themes and ideas explored throughout the book, which, like all good science fiction, raise important questions about the values of society and what it means to be human. The author constructs a near-world future which in many ways feels quite scarily plausible. In this world, while there was a lot of fear and prejudice surrounding the sleepless people early on in the pandemic, society has now become largely more accepting of these people and no longer treats hyperinsomnia as a disease. In fact, this condition is increasingly desirable for a lot of people because of the extra time it opens up to the individual. The hours they used to need for sleeping every night can now be put to other purposes, such as pursuing hobbies, doing extra work, earning more money, or learning new skills. Sleepless workers are thus seen as more productive and have more opportunities open to them. This sounds great if you're a workaholic, but personally, I think this would be hell. I think falling into a nice slumber after a long day is one of the great pleasures of life. But if I really was sleepless, though, I don't know what I would do with all my extra time, but it probably wouldn't be anything high energy like taking on a new job. I'd probably just do a lot more reading. Anyway, to return to the world building, there are a number of intriguing futuristic technologies that are introduced throughout this story. Many of these have biopunk themes. Visors, for example, are ubiquitous devices that everyone has which provides the wearer with advanced communications and information retrieval. The next step in the evolution of this technology is smart lenses, which you can wear in your eyes. Moreover, advanced VR suits, new, powerful pharmaceuticals, and super strength exosuits, among other things, all add to the transhumanist technological suite that we encounter. Beyond the sci-fi elements, a number of heavy themes are explored throughout the novel. These include suicide, grief, drug use, capitalist greed, exploitation, and the nature of memory. These add to the nuanced characterization of the protagonist and the people that surround him, and provide some philosophical elements to the story. The first-person narrative, moreover, gives the reader an intimate engagement with Vega as we learn more about the profound effects that sleeplessness has on his life. So these themes and sci-fi concepts combine in a well-written, exciting, and thought-provoking thriller that I can definitely recommend. The Sleepless is a highly polished debut novel, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Victor Manibo can come up with in the future. So I'm going to give this book a rating of 4.5 stars. Before I go, I'd like to leave you with a couple of questions to consider. Firstly, would you want to become sleepless and give up the need to sleep ever again? Secondly, if you were sleepless, what would you do with all of this new extra time? Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for further science fiction content to come.